Hi, I'm Mike Beek, and welcome to this week's edition of The Employer's Advantage. Well, this week we're going to talk about whether you're thinking of downsizing. And what do you need to know before you actually do that and end up letting the wrong people go? Do you feel like you're kind of caught on a roller coaster ride that's out of control these days? I mean, every day we see an economic landscape that is out of control, and governments around the world are trying to figure out how to shore up their key financial institutions like nothing we've ever seen before. And bottom line, how does all this turmoil affect you and your business? Now, if you're like a lot of employers I talk with, then you may be ready to pull the trigger on letting people go just to keep your cost in line with your actual or your estimated income over the next year or two. Now, that's pretty good stewardship from my point of view if you want your business to be around when everything hopefully comes back to normal. And there's little reason to carry a negative cash flow, especially when you aren't even sure you can rely on normal sources of funds. So, okay, you feel like you need to let some or many of your people go if you're going to survive and your company's going to survive. The question I have for you is, do you have a good plan for determining who you should keep and who you should let go? Or are you just telling each department head to cut back by, say, 10% across the board? Or are you telling them go by seniority or some other seemingly objective criteria? Well, here's some brain food for thought before you take action. Now, first of all, have you thought about what your business may look like when things begin to turn around? And will your customers be buying in the same way they always have, or will you need to sell differently to them? And will your products and services look like what they look like today? And what talent will you absolutely need? Is it the same that you have had over the last few years, or will your needs change? And then finally, how do you intelligently select which employees to keep and who to let go? You think you're setting yourself up for legal problems around maybe discrimination because you let your more expensive or older people go? Well, you need to give these and other questions serious consideration before you take the wrong action. Now, I advise my clients to actually brainstorm with their senior management team now, looking at things like, what will the business climate look like when we begin to climb out of this morass? Now, as part of this really important exercise, think about how you can also outflank your competition when things turn around. Okay, now let's get down to the people level. Who to keep and who to let go. Well, after going through the crystal ball exercise with your senior management team at the macro level, it's now time to look at your employees and figure out which ones best suit the profile of what you not only need today, but what you're absolutely going to need down the road. It's highly likely that you pretty much have some of the right people on board today. And if not, you need to turn out those who don't fit and find people who do fit, whether they're internal people or external people. Because if you wait until things turn around before figuring this out, you're likely to find it hard to find and attract people who fit. And you may think I'm just talking about the type of skills you'll need among your employees. Well, to some degree that's true, but skills can be taught. No, what I'm really talking about is the type of people you need based on their core behavioral characteristics and their ability to learn new things and communicate those things effectively. And the profile you should build should include things like whether or not you'll be a lean and mean organization. Will you need people who are self-starters or people who require more oversight? Will your sales team primarily be out there looking for new clients, green fields, or will they be managing relationships with existing clients? And if you need to teach new information and new skills to your employees, how fast do you need to bring them up to speed on those new things? And the key to this whole thing is the profile. In reality, the profile is really several profiles because each position may require a different set of behavioral learning characteristics. One way to attack this is to figure out which of your employees currently in the position have what you think it will take now and when things turn around, and use those people as a model for building the profile for other people who will be successful in that position. Now, I recommend using an objective assessment tool like eAssessment's Profile XT to actually construct such a profile. The output tells you just what type of person you need to have in each position objectively. It also tells you how to work with each employee so they can reach their full potential. Employees who believe their employer cares about their growth will want to stay around for the long term. Turnover can kill your plans for the turnaround. You need to look at each employee that you have on board to determine how well they fit that profile. If you think they're a good fit, then you need to focus on retaining them now. Make sure they know that you want them around for the long term, because if they feel any nervousness about whether or not they're going to be let go, they may actually go out and proactively start looking for a safe harbor. If they're not the best fit for their current position, well, you need to consider whether they might be suitable for other positions, even if it means you need to train them a bit. And this profile and job fit helps you determine if they might be a good candidate for another position. It's better to do that and train them than it is to go out and try to find someone who's a good fit when you need them, because you might not find them or be able to hire them. Well, I hope this gives you some actionable food for thought. And I urge you to keep the employees who you have today that will not only best serve you today, but will be the right ones when the economy regains its footing. Well, this is Mike Beek, thanking you for listening to this week's edition of The Employer's Advantage.